Welcome to this training where I am going to show you how we scaled an Amazon store from $30,000 per month and stuck at that for about a year to $266K per month in less than 5 months. We didn't add any new products. We didn't do anything crazy innovative with our product line. We took what was already there for this person and used our 3-step system to get there. And the crazy part is, since actually doing this, we've continued to increase the store's revenue and profits. But the craziest part about this whole scenario is a lot of people will show you vanity metrics. They'll show you 30K per month going to 266. They won't show you profit margins. They won't show you any of these numbers. But I'm going to show you how we did it while 10xing this brand's profits. We didn't do it by just spending a ton more on ads and just barely increasing our profit or keeping the same profit margin throughout. We did it by increasing it across the board. So no fluff here today. Let me just show you exactly who I am so you know who the random guy on this camera is talking to you. My name is Eddie Maloof. I go by Dada at home. My amazing, beautiful girl, Milana, my wife, Terry. I'm also the founder and CEO of 4Media Marketing. We're one of the fastest growing full-service e-com and info product marketing agencies in the U.S. About $700 million managed last year in revenue. We're working with over 100 8-figure brands. We have a team of 100 e-commerce strategists. Main hub based out of Atlanta, Georgia, but we have offices in Denver. We have offices in London. And you can see a few photos of here of me speaking on stage. This is Affiliate Summit West, one of the largest marketing conferences there is right now. So with that being said, let's jump into the meat and potatoes here. Oh, and last thing, here's a couple brands that we actually work with. You might recognize Prestige Labs. This was Alex Hormozi's brand when they exited. ClickFunnels, Snow Teeth Whitening, one of the top Shopify stores in the entire world. Booty Bag, which was on Shark Tank. Pace Morby, really awesome client of ours as well. Blue Chew, we've done work for them. And the list goes on and on. So with that being said, let's jump in. Let's start with where the client was, right? So the client came to us in June, doing just shy of 30K per month in the supplement niche. They've been selling for about 1.5 years, and not too bad. Let me just move myself over here so it's easier for you. Not too bad for launching products in such a competitive niche with no real strategy, but we saw a few clear factors that were stopping them from being able to get over that hump. So you can see here in the chart when we took over in July, the massive difference in jump there. You can see the flat line going here all the way across, and then boom, we take over the account, and look what happens. This isn't a fluke. This isn't something that was equal to the numbers in the past. We far exceeded everything and broke those ceilings. So before 4Media, again, like I showed you, I'm not going to go and bore you through all the specific numbers, but long story short, they were struggling. They were at a ceiling. They tried multiple different agencies. And quite frankly, when we looked and examined it, it seemed that they just really had a leaky bucket of some sort. So they were wasting a lot of money in inefficient spaces. They were spending money where they don't need to be on products that they shouldn't have been spending on. And I'm going to walk you through step by step what that looks like. So step one out of our 3-step system is pay to play. So we onboarded this client, launched them, and during our first week, we get to optimizing, we get to understanding the entire strategy of the account and putting together our game plan. And the first thing we noticed was the PPC situation wasn't really as good as it needed to be. So first step, we needed to reorganize their entire sponsored ad accounts, which I'll show you exactly what that is. We started new ad campaigns under our scaling structure, which easily made a massive difference. For reference, after their first month with 4Media, we closed out July with $18,400 in revenue from ads and 71 ACOS. This was more than double what they made from ads in June. So this is like, by the way, like the first week or two of us working together, we already saw these kinds of results. And from that point on, we knew that there was going to be something really magical here happening. So you can see some of the quick numbers here. June, $8,000 from ads. July, when we started working together, $18K from ads. August, $61K from ads. September, $50. October, $68. November, $112. And this is just from the ad side. Okay, wait till I show you what we did on the other side. But this is just the jump in ads. And you can see here how the percent of ACOS actually decreased throughout that process. So very, very interesting stats here and really good numbers to be looking at. So after only 5 months, we grew the revenue from ads from an unprofitable 8 to a very profitable 112. That's 1,300 increase. But that's just the ad side. Like I said, there was so much more, which I'll show you that we got into on the actual listing side of things. But on the ad side, these are the results. I'm going to show you exactly what we did right here. So Key findings. Number one, we found a few grand per month being wasted on keywords that were not actually converting into sales. So if you actually go into your PPC account and you run all the search terms that are happening, you'll find that you're bidding on certain keywords that are actually just wasting your money, and even just a few grand a month. So let me give you a perspective. If you have keywords that are generating you a 5x return on ad spend, so you're spending $1,000 and making 5K, let's say, and then you have another keyword that's spending 2-3K a month and generating you 0 or far fewer sales than what the other one is, taking that budget and allocating it to the one that was giving you a 5x return, assuming there is more market share and impression share to take on that keyword, that alone automatically cuts a $3,000 loss and gives you a $15,000 revenue line. So just in little changes like that we're able to find wasted keywords, which quite frankly, we audit accounts all the time, and this is like one of the biggest things that we see is just taking that waste, which is what we call part of the leaky bucket, taking that waste and putting it towards keywords that are actually going to work. So that's number one. Number two, we changed the naming convention of the account. In Amazon, whenever you run reports, even whether it's third-party softwares, whether it's through Amazon itself on PPC, if your naming conventions are not set up correctly, it's very difficult to understand what is happening from a reporting side. So what we did, first of all, was we didn't just wait to build our new campaigns. We went to past campaigns that were active in the account, and we renamed them using our key naming structure. So in our case, we put 4M for 4Media. You can neglect that if you want. You can just put product name, campaign, keyword, okay? And this helps us really understand from a high-level view as we run reporting, where are we actually spending our money and what do these words mean? A lot of time people just name campaigns the way that they want and the way that they might understand. But when you start running mass reports on the account, you have difficulty understanding those data points. Therefore, you can't find the key things that are going to take that account to the next level. So that was step number two. And step number three here, we treated every product as individual revenue sources instead of treating them all the same. This is probably the most common problem we see in Amazon accounts. And essentially, what I'm saying here is everyone treats all their products as if, they're all going to be in one campaign. We're going to treat them all the same. Sure, each one has different keywords, but we're going to treat them as one store, one revenue source in itself. And at 4Media, we approach it a lot differently. So we actually approach each individual product as its own revenue source, break down that product into multiple campaigns of its own. And if you can see here, making SK campaigns for high performers, that means single keyword campaigns. So we're taking the ones that are actually doing the best. We're taking those keywords, and instead of allowing them to be in the pool of other keywords, we are isolating these keywords in their own campaigns on their own, so that we're able to scale those key terms that are allowing us to generate revenue sources for those products. This is similar to what we do on the Google side. And if there's any sort of search engine that you're bidding on, whether it's Google or Amazon, I highly recommend doing single keyword campaigns for your highest performers. But again, like I said, this is only for the PPC account, and we all know what it takes to take it to the next level, and that is doing a holistic approach. So if you're on Shopify, that means not running just ads, but doing emails, doing content, doing all these things. That's how we operate as a business, and the same goes to Amazon. So when we take over someone's PPC, that is usually only half the battle. The other half of the battle is actually optimizing the listing itself. Amazon has so much free SEO for everyone to take advantage of, and I see so many listings neglect that aspect of it and just leaving money on the table. So let's jump into the listing optimization part of it. So most clients come to us with no clear organization or focus on their listings. They think they've done an awesome job, and that's totally understandable if you're running your own Amazon store. But when you are us and you're able to look at dozens of different successful Amazon stores, some of these guys doing millions of dollars a month, you start to understand what it actually takes to make a great listing. And again, no shot at people who are running their own Amazon stores and being successful, but it's a lot different when you have the vantage point of understanding all the different brands that you're working with and where their success is coming from. So most people, everything looks visually pleasing, but when you pull back the covers, it's poorly optimized and confusing to customers, especially the way that Amazon likes to read these keywords. So this is where we release our listing optimization SEO experts and use our 47-point inspection checklist. So this is actually something that we put together over the last few years of what actually are the biggest needle movers from number 1 to number 47 in the listing optimization process and knocking those out one at a time. So this is like super juice to Amazon when you have a highly relevant listing with as much information filled out as possible. That's also highly converting above competitor listings. This is when you start breaking through the ceiling here. So I showed you all the PPC money, but what you don't realize is more than half of the revenue and more of the profits, technically, because there's no PPC spend, is coming from the listing optimization side of things. So images are probably the most important aspect of all Amazon listings. Obviously, other things play into review, price, copywriting, reviews. Nothing else matters at the end of the day if the image itself sucks, right? That is the first thing that people see. That is how they shop. Before they even read the title, think about yourself when you scroll through the phone. Before you even read the title, you're actually looking at the image itself to figure out if that is a product that you want to look into. But how do you even know what to put in the image so that it's highly converting? We start with an in-depth competitor review analysis where we go through every review of the top 5 most similar competitors. Now, I'll tell you what we've done differently. Since AI has been released, we actually started taking this process and using AI to help us understand it. So we'll use tools like Helium 10, for example, and we'll go and we'll pull all the reviews of all the competing listings in that market space, right? So in this case, for example, for the supplement brand, we went to the top 5, and honestly, in this case, I think we even went to the top 10. We pulled all the reviews, and what you can do is you can export those reviews, you can upload them into ChatGPT or any sort of open AI resource, and allow it to instantly filter top 5 features, top complaints, what are the best benefits, what are the best hooks, what are the top questions people are asking, what are the top phrases that are mentioned, what are the most important keywords that people use in their reviews. And this allows us not only to cater to Amazon, but it allows us to cater to our future customers and know exactly what they're shopping for. So don't sleep on this strategy. This is probably the most useful thing. This used to take us like 5+ hours, basically an entire full day per listing to be able to do. Now with ChatGPT and being able to export them from Helium 10 and put them right into ChatGPT to tell us the answers, we are condensing this time dramatically. So this is definitely something that you can do for yourself. I think it's actually probably one of the most beneficial things you can do if you're actually selling on Amazon. So from this research, we're able to pull out 9 highly optimized images that touched on all the important aspects of the customer's product. And again, another thing you can do with these images too, if you want to take a different approach, you can actually go and use anonymous voting sites and put both your potential images that you wanna sell and put what it is that you're selling. And random customers anonymously will just tell you which image works best, and you will usually see a pretty clear winner. 60-70% of people usually pick a certain image, and that'll kind of give you a really good idea of what to do. But then our team took this information and was able to create beautifully branded images and A+ content that covered absolutely everything, so that one, customers couldn't get bored. That's important, right? You wouldn't be listening to this presentation 13 minutes in right now if I was extremely boring, talk super slow, etc. And the same goes for people shopping. Their bandwidth is even smaller than you. You knew you were showing up to a training. They are just trying to scroll and catch things in seconds. And so the better you make it look and the more engaging it is, the longer you will have someone stay on your listing. And if they are going to spend more time on your listing than other people's listing, you can imagine how much more sales it's going to lead when you're spending a lot more time on yours than the competitors are. So number 2, by the time they look through them, there was nothing left in their mind to do but click and add to cart the button, obviously making it a no-brainer. So here's a couple examples. This is the old image. This is the new main image. After we looked across the board, people wanted to know like what was in there, what do the capsules look like. These are really important things that people were asking in other people's questions or complaining about in other people's questions. So in the new image, you can see we maximized all the blank space that we had. We blew up the image itself. We took a lower angle of the image. So rather than going higher, we took it lower, and we added the pills really big on the side as well. So this increased the conversion rate of the listing itself dramatically, and more importantly, the click-through rate from the actual feed. So you can see some of the new optimized images we created for the A+ content side of things. This is our graphics team going in. They're doing research again on what is winning across the board and trying to create ways specifically where we can align the branding of this company with what we know is going to work best and target those people specifically. So you can see here, optimize A+ content. These things are beautiful. We basically moved it to showing who the doctors were, providing more credibility, showing the suite of different products, and making graphics that were big and easy to understand. You can look right here. I mean, you can read this in like 1 second and understand everything that this product does. So this is the old content, just so you have an idea. And, you know, some of you guys might be looking at this and you might be saying, man, this sucks. Well, you know, reality is this isn't that bad. I see people with way worse listings than this. And quite frankly, a lot of times us as business owners, our listings are this bad and we are just okay with it. We're not really critical of ourselves. We're not really comparing as much as we should to what is working and trying to provide that quality experience for our customers. And that's totally okay. And as a business owner, you know, you have to do supply chain, you have to do customer support. There's a million things that you have to do and worry about and run your numbers and all finances and all this stuff. And that's why sometimes it just makes sense to just hire an agency that understands how to do this. So after the new images were attractive and optimized for Amazon, we moved to technical listing edits. So again, back to our 47-point checklist. Images and A+ content are at the top. But we're going to go through every category down to the URL, to the images, the title, the bullets, the category, the subcategory, the variation names, the back-end search terms, what kind of coupons and offers are we running, and literally everything from top to bottom so that we can actually start optimizing with our 47-point inspection. We found that this client's listings were only about 20% complete, according to our inspection list. This was leading to Amazon's algorithm not having enough information to best rank it to display for customers. Now, remind yourself that this client actually worked with a ton of different agencies, tried to do it for themselves, and was stuck at the same point for years. So it's not like 20% you read it and you're like, dude, that's stupid, man. I would definitely want to have 20%. You'd be surprised about how little your listing has from a technical backend side and how many things Amazon has created to be able to create that support system where you can toggle so many things that can optimize your listing. And most people are just oblivious to it. So after we completed the listing inspection checklist, it was time to move on to step 3, organic ranking strategy, right? So here's what we've done so far. Number 1, PPC is optimized. Number 2, the listings are fully optimized. And number 3, the step which we're getting into now, we send targeted traffic to the listings that search for specific keywords, then interact with your listings in an organic way and eventually purchase the product. So this is White Hat. Yes, I know you're wondering, are you going to get banned on Amazon? We are not sending links with keywords inside the URL pre-populated and sending them to people. That is absolutely not what we are doing here. I just want to be clear about that because that is illegal and Amazon will ban you if you do that. So we have our different strategies, to say the least. And basically, you can see here, this is rocket fuel to Amazon. And like I said, 100% White Hat, totally legal. This is allowed by Amazon. You know, it's like, you know, getting in between the rules rather than around them, if that makes sense. So basically here you can see October to November, they were ranked, you can see here position somewhere anywhere between 100 to 212 here. So you can see lowest position here, top position number 1 by the time we got into November. So right here, they were always fluctuating here. Number 1 right here, number 1 here again. For this keyword, and then you can see here for this keyword, lowest position was 169. They always floated. Closest they got was like 50 something, all the way down. We broke 50. As soon as we broke 50, we went back down, and then boom, we cracked it. And then across the board, you could always see we're pretty much sitting in the top 5 the entire time. So imagine taking your product from rank 212 to number 1, or from rank 169 to consistently rank 3. What it's going to do for you on Amazon. We all know it is the biggest search engine when it comes to product shopping. Imagine you're showing up number 3 and number 1 for your product category. It's virtually impossible for you not to be making more sales. So you can see here again, another scenario that's very similar to this one. So from less than 30K months to ending November with 266 in revenue. And if you want to look at net profit here, 10, boom, in March, 13 in April, 10 in May, June, the month before they hired us, in July, $7,000. Oh my gosh, look at August. 65K in net profit, 48K in net profit, 53K in net profit, 118 grand in net profit by November. And you know, some of you might be thinking, oh, Black Friday, all this stuff in November. No, that is absolutely not true. This is a supplement brand. If you know anything about supplement brands, November and December are actually their slowest months because so many people are focused their money on retail and they are not buying supplements unless they're gifting it for someone. And I can't imagine someone is gifting this specific supplement to someone else. January is usually the best months for supplements. And I can tell you confidently that it was as well. That is data that I just do not want to share on this call. But let's just say the numbers are a lot higher than what you see on the screen here. So with that being said, you can kind of understand this client's success wasn't due to luck. We did not launch any more products. All of this was accomplished within their original set of products. And quite frankly, we even focus on less products than they necessarily were before us. Amazon's not an easy game, but it is a solved game that can be understood and won. And when you work with so many different brands, you start understanding why it can be won. So from 30K a month to over 266 and growing in only 5 months is real and achievable for other brands. So if you want these same results for yourself, there should be an application that pops up below. Apply below to work directly with our team. First thing we'll do is we'll go and we'll audit your account just like we did for this one to start. If we feel like there's enough opportunity for us to work together and to justify you paying us to do the job, because we will outweigh that in profits dramatically, then we will find a way to work together and then we can discuss that. If not, no hard feelings. We have a lot of resources where we can teach you these things for you to do them on your own. So go ahead, fill out the application below. Please be honest about your numbers. It's going to help us speed up the audit process and be able to get you answers faster as well. So with that being said, thank you so much for attending this training. Hopefully it was valuable for you. And keep an eye out for some emails, etc., from me later on with more value for you. But if anything, I hope you apply below and we find a way to work together on your Amazon brand. Cheers. Thank you.